YouTube, what's going on? Finally, we are doing the part 2 to the best APCs in the game video. This video is more tuned for players with all the heroes, but I will go over some if you don't necessarily have like the newest heroes in the game. So I had a part 1 which covers how to kind of figure out the best APCs and just lists tons and tons of them. Now I'm going to talk about basically setting them all up so you have 5 or at least 4 really strong APCs. So first things first, I'm going to show you basically the kind of standard cookie cutter maxed build here of APCs. So first we're going to have what I mentioned in the previous video as one of the strongest APCs in the game. You have Raven, followed by Dart or Azure, and then Flash. And then this is going to be one of those kind of mixed troop types where you have all 3 types, which gives you huge benefits now later into the game. So this is really strong. It works really well against some of the better APCs in the game, such as the Gloria APC, Annie, Ifan, Gloria, which we'll talk about in a little bit, as well as the Nightingale APCs. This can stop both of those with pretty good ease, and then it does really well against basically everything. Fallen Raven himself is an incredibly strong hero. He can basically do everything. Not much else to say. He's an amazing tank. He gets 1 billion kills. Azure Dart is a really good support depending on the rest of the APC. So this APC actually uses quite a lot of combat skills, and Azure Dart amplifies basically everything. And then again, Flash is probably, I don't even think probably, is the best shooter hero in the game, at least in terms of damage. So having her there really is really effective against vehicle APCs. So that's kind of the top one that everyone is basically running, and it's just ripping through everybody's base. The interesting part is now pretty much all of the other APCs are the same. This APC wasn't really used at all previously, or those heroes rather. So now we can use which was the best APC in the game last season, and this one was just ripping through everyone. You can still basically use it. Now again, this will require the SP heroes to be basically maxed. If they're not maxed, replace them with a different front row hero. But again, you see kind of the same thing. 3 different troop types, a really strong tank in Annie, a really strong support in Ifan, and a really strong damage dealer in Gloria. So these 2 right here are just fantastic. They basically do everything, and they do really well against pretty much everything. Now there are counters to both. Like I said, this Flash combo generally will kill the this Gloria combo down here. This Gloria combo will generally kill pretty much everything else. So it's pretty nice to have both of these if you have both of the SP heroes. Again, I will be talking about some other combinations, assuming you don't have all the heroes in the game. Now you can basically still use APCs from last season. So we still have the Beast, Hunk, Thunderbolt APC from last season. It's still very good. It's full fighters, which, you know, kind of breaks the theme of 3 different troop types. But when you have all of the same troop type, you do get bonuses, especially from your buildings. And this works really well for those reasons. Beast, an amazing front row hero. Thunderbolt, an amazing carry. And then Hunk does well as a support in this formation here. So overall, really strong, especially strong in garrisoning or kind of defending, due to the fact that fighters generally don't take as many skill kills. So you can have this APC, you know, garrisoning or defending for much longer, which can be very important. It might not get the most kills, but it can just last forever and ever. So very strong. And then kind of just the base level APC here. If you're not strong enough to have this APC, you pretty much won't be considered strong at all, in terms of heroes at least. It's just the Tuner Cyclone Nightingale. It's very good. It's full vehicles. Still does a lot of damage. If you're stronger than your opponent, this APC will just rip through them. It works well for attacking. It's okay for defending. It gets shot out pretty quickly due to the fact that there's basically no survivability. But overall, it's definitely nice. It's really good to have that kind of faster APC. You can double hit. So basically, you send any of these first. They're going to be slower. And then you can double hit with the vehicle APC and line that up. So these are basically the four, like I said, like kind of the cookie cutter. Everyone sort of is using these combos. Sorry about that notification. Everybody's basically using these combos, and they work very effectively, and they work together quite well. It's very hard to get through all of them. You might be able to get to the Beast combo with like Gloria, but then you're going to reach the Flash combo and get killed, and so on and so forth. Now, we're going to talk about the Garrison. The thing is, generally, you shouldn't be using your Garrison, at least at this point in the game, this meta of the game. If you're getting attacked by your base, either you're like a super duper max and you have, just everything possible and you're just the strongest in the map. Otherwise, you really should never be getting hit on your base. You're basically out of position. If you are getting hit, there's almost no reason for you to have to sit there and tank. Again, if you're like a super duper max and you have 5 billion power and whatever, it doesn't really matter. But in this case, we'll talk about the Garrison for other events that aren't necessarily Eden. So for me personally, the Garrison that you want to do, basically you want to shore up the kind of disadvantages that you have in your base generally, or you want your Garrison to kind of act as a standalone while your other APCs are doing other things. So what I actually like to run is Angel in the front. Angel's just a really good tank and has really high survivability. So even if they do break this, it's not going to break the bank. It's not going to break my troops. And then I actually run Kung Fu and Hammer. Now, you can run like Robust and some other weird stuff and Diver. You can run a bunch of stuff in this Garrison. The Garrison, this 5th APC is definitely weaker. I'll put in the troop types. It's definitely going to be weaker no matter really what you put. So it's all just going to kind of depend on what you need. If, for example, this Flash APC is getting through, which is kind of what's happening to me currently, I like to kind of nullify it by using this combination here. Because of the fact that Flash is a shooter hero, I can use Angel to sort of sap up a lot of that damage, and then Hammer is going to come through and at least do damage to Flash. Now, the important thing is setting up your APCs, or setting up your Garrison, rather. The kind of order that you have it is incredibly important. And there are some tips to this. So generally, you kind of just want your strongest, I guess, first. So like whatever you're in your first row, kind of just put your strongest APC, the one that kills like the majority of other APCs. In my case, that's going to be Gloria, this ANE IFAN Gloria combo. You can use the Raven Dart Flash combination, but there are some pretty good counters to this, so I tend to just like to use this Gloria one. There aren't as many counters. Really, the only counter is this Flash APC, and not everyone has this. Not everyone pulled for Lorenzo, and not everyone has Dart. More people have this combination because of how good it was last season. A lot of people this season went to pick up this APC, so it just seems like more people have this combination. So when I'm getting attacked, it's usually, like I said, other APCs. Sometimes I'll just put this Gloria APC here. And then you want to see like what can get past that, right? So in this case, it's going to be the Flash APC. So now what counters the Flash APC? I can use the Beast Thunderbolt APC. This does pretty well against the Flash APC. I wouldn't say it's like a direct counter. There isn't really direct counters, but this does very decent against it. If they can get past the Gloria, they're going to be injured. Then they run into my Beast Hunk Thunderbolt combination. It's going to do very, very well again. Now, in this case, if they get past it, I usually just hit them with this wall here, and generally they're not going to get past this. This combo is, like I said, a wall, so it basically takes no damage. By the time they reach here, they're going to be very injured, and this combination can basically just win due to the fact that they're going to have basically double the troop count, usually wins. If they get past it, I'm just going to mirror match it, and by this point, either the opponent is so much stronger that I'm just dead, or the APC is so weak that a mirror matchup, even if I am weaker, since they've been weakened, the mirror matchup is going to take them on. And then this is almost completely useless against flash, and in general just not very good for defense, so I usually put this at the bottom. Now, a nice tip when using the Garrison, if you're getting attacked a lot, generally they're going to see kind of your lineup here and be like, oh, okay, in this case, they're pretty vulnerable. I'm pretty vulnerable to Gloria. This front APC here. Yes, I'm mirror matching it, but if they're stronger, they're going to get through here. They're generally going to get through this and this. And then, they'll probably die here, but at least if they get through 3 APCs over and over and over, I will eventually lose. So people are going to notice what you have in defense and kind of switch it up for counters. A very easy trick is to simply just like switch any order, any row. It doesn't really matter what you do. And then you're basically going to, the potential of foiling their plan is very, very high just from switching like one order. It works really, really well. So something to recommend. Now that we've covered the Garrison and kind of the, 4.5 best APCs in the game, we can talk about some other, decent combos. However, this is basically what you want. Now, again, if you don't have the SP heroes, you can replace Azure for another kind of support hero. It will significantly weaken your base, but you can do like Kung Fu. It still sort of has that same effect. You can actually run Diver. It's going to be all right. You lose the triple troop types, but it's okay. You can actually run Robust. This is a surprisingly good combination here. But again, it will be significantly stronger. The SP heroes are really, really, really strong right now, and you kind of need at least one of them maxed to be like a strong base. So that's what I would recommend. I would really recommend just kind of maxing out one of them. Don't like pseudo max both of them. I strongly recommend just going for one, maxing them out, finishing it up, and then eventually going for the next one. You will be severely weakened if both of these have like maybe their 6th ability maxed and then like level 6s on the rest of their abilities. It's definitely weaker than just maxing one, having a super duper strong single combination, and then having a little bit weaker, SP combo. So like here you can replace Annie with Angel, for example, and it's not going to be the best, but it's not going to be the worst. So just keep that in mind when you're kind of playing around with these APCs, or you're thinking about, well, who should I get next? I would definitely recommend just upgrading one first. So that's going to do it, guys. Hopefully it's helpful. Again, this is the cookie cutter stuff. There are counters. If you're interested in finding out counters to all of these kind of the best APCs here, it can be really, really, really helpful, especially if someone is garrisoning with like this, Lorenzo Azure Flash, and you're like, how the hell do I beat this? Let me know in the comments if you guys want to see that. Counters, basically a video talking about counters to the best APCs in the game. It's very, very good. Instead of just sending like APCs over and over and just hitting a wall, try a counter. You're not going to win against a base with 2600 might or anything like that, but you will eventually whittle them down, and maybe some other huge hitter can come in and smack them around. So that's going to do it for this video, guys. Hopefully it helped. I actually had this all pre-recorded prior to getting a little sick. But that video, the file got all screwed up, so had to re-record it. I am still sick, as you can hear, so apologies for no videos for a while, but trying to recover, and sometimes the voice just doesn't work at all. So that's about it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Appreciate it. Hopefully it helps. Again, if you want to know that counter video or something like that, just let me know in the comments, and I will try my best to do it when I'm recovered. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Peace. Love.